Welcome everybody to Forza Motorsport 7, and today we're dealing with the 2017 Chevrolet Colorado ZR2. Now the Colorado has been around since 2003 when it replaced the S10, and this is the second generation of the Colorado, which has been around since 2012. And yeah, the ZR2 is basically the top of the line trim, which is called the ZR2, but is more heavily focused towards off-roading, which is proven by the amount of upgrades to the car which are exclusive to the ZR2. And I'm not going to name all of them because there is a lot, but basically it's got a 3.5 inch wider track, a 2-inch lift, electronic locking front and rear differentials, improved approach and departure angles, aluminium skid plates for the oil pan, radiator and front diff, as well as wider fender flares, which are all exclusive, like I said, to this car. So yeah, it's technically probably the top of the line trim, considering it's got all the amenities of the Z71, but it's got off-road capabilities as well, unlike any other Colorado. So yeah, I actually am quite a fan of this car. I like the look of it. Certainly like the look of it in comparison to other SUVs from America. And yeah, it's best way to describe this car is basic but functional. As you can see by the interior, it's not been machine gunned by buttons like the likes of that Lincoln Continental. And yeah, it's all here that you'd expect, but you know, it's not overblown and showy, as to say the least. And yeah, it's got quite a large bed in the rear. Could easily get plenty in there, far more than I could certainly fill it with. And yeah, the engine itself is pretty basic as well. It's not turbocharged or supercharged or anything like that. It's not even a V8. It's a 3.6 litre V6 which produces 308 horsepower and 275 pounds-feet of torque, which is fairly decent, especially considering this car only weighs 4,734 pounds. So it's not a massive heavyweight SUV pickup truck at all. So it really doesn't need a massive engine or a massive amount of power. But just for comparison, that is actually 8 horsepower more than the most powerful Colorado engine in the previous generation, though it does have 45 less pounds-feet of torque. But yeah, a solid all-round vehicle, quite frankly. I can certainly see why Motor Trend gave this Truck of the Year twice, in 2015 and 2016. And yeah, if I was after such a thing, this would certainly be up there with the top of the list, quite frankly. So yeah, let's get out onto the track and see what this off-road pickup truck can do on the track. So see you when we get there. Alright, we're at Lime Rock Full Circuit Alternate. We're going to take this car around for a couple of laps and see just what it's made of. So yeah, it is obviously an off-road orientated vehicle, which, you know, doesn't really go well with a track-orientated game. But personally, I find it interesting to drive cars that really aren't suited to the environment that they're racing around. Plus, it does make for some interesting racing. I mean, how many other racing games can you race a Citroen 2CV against a Chevy Colorado? Not many, and yeah, it's those kind of races that make for a more interesting game. And obviously, it offers up more variety and offers up more choices for people to drive around in. And to be honest, for a high-riding pickup that, you know, it's quite weighty and certainly isn't made for going around the track, it does handle and brake fairly well, far better than I was expecting it to, and far better than the stats would suggest. And yeah, compare this to the likes of the Durango from the previous car pack, which had lift-off oversteer issues to the hill. This just enjoys the corners and goes around them fairly smoothly. It does have some understeer, which you'd expect from a car that has all-wheel drive and is quite heavy, and obviously it isn't meant for this kind of thing, but if you're smooth with it, it does handle, and it really doesn't roll as much as I would have expected for a car that's not only high riding but has been lifted from its original high riding height in the first place. So yeah, handles pretty well, and yeah, brakes pretty well as well. And obviously that's something down to the fact that it doesn't weigh all that much. In fact, it only weighs about 200 pounds more than a Lincoln Continental. So yeah, compared to other SUVs and other pickup trucks on this game, it doesn't really weigh all that much. And that obviously means it doesn't need a big V8 or a lot of power. So even though it only does have a V6 with just over 300 horsepower, it does shift in terms of acceleration, 0 to 66.1 seconds, 0 to 117.1 seconds, going to a top speed of 147 miles an hour. which really isn't too shabby whatsoever. And I do actually kind of really like this V6. It's high revving, it's punchy, it sounds pretty good, and it no doubt gets the job done when you actually want to go off-road. So yeah, all around a really nice car, to be honest. And yeah, like I said, when we're in the Forza Vista mode, it would be a truck that I would consider buying if I was in the market for such a thing, because there's no real downsides to it whatsoever, to be honest. Reasonably fast, practical, it's got a decent interior, it's not too showy, it's obviously going to be a capable off-roader with all the off-road upgrades that have been given to it, and yeah, no doubt can deal with any situation that you're going to throw at it. And if you do fancy it, it's even somewhat capable of that going around the track. So yeah, I'm really pleased that they've put such a vehicle in this game. It's obviously a brand of vehicle that we've not had in this series before. We've never had a Colorado or even a Chevy pickup before in Forza series. So yeah, it's a nice change of pace, and is a fully surprising vehicle overall. Far exceeded my expectations. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.